Hello and welcome to a very special broadcast here on WION. I'm Aisha Sindhu. Now, most of us have fitness goals in our lives, but we also have a number of excuses on how not to get there. But I'm joined today on the conversation by someone who's defied many of the challenges that many young people have today. He's defied age, for instance. He's not your average 30-year-old running around on marathons. He is somebody who is serving in the Indian Army currently. He's a Major General. His name is Vikram Dev Dogra and he's speaking with us here at WION. General, thank you very much for joining us here on the broadcast. You have just completed something known as the Ironman, which for many people conjures images of a movie, but it's something very different. Can I ask you first off, to get the ball rolling on our conversation, what is the Ironman challenge?
The Ironman is a triathlon with 3 events. It has swimming, cycling and running. So it starts with a swim of 3.8 kilometers in an open water body, followed by cycling of 180 kilometers. And then a full marathon of 42.2 kilometers. And all of this to be done in 17 hours.
Okay, and you did it in?
I did it in 14 hours and 21 minutes.
And how many seconds?
No, it was 14 hours, 20 minutes and 59 seconds.
Okay, so you're adding a minute when in fact you did it in a second lesser.
Yeah.
Okay, could you have done it in lesser, do you think?
Yeah, surely now. Now I think when I look back, it was more important for me to complete it rather than to do it in a set time. But surely I could scrape off about an hour.
You live in northern India, you live in New Delhi. How does somebody train themselves to tackle what's going to be a very different terrain, first of all, and also temperature? I mean, the weather conditions in Austria would be starkly different from what you're used to training here in India.
So, I'll take on the weather first.
Okay.
The weather in India is, of course, we are aware in the summer it's 42 degrees, 43 degrees in Delhi.
Right.
Which actually is a plus point for us because, you know, when you train in that kind of weather and you go to Austria, which is 26 degrees at the time when I was there, it's really a plus point. So, it's easier to breathe, there's less pollution, so, and you don't sweat so much. As far as the terrain is concerned, it's hilly. And that took a toll on my cycling because there was a 5,200 feet of elevation in the 180 kilometers that I did.
Okay, so are you telling me that when you went to Austria, you actually were training and performing this level, I mean, this segment of the triathlon, the cycling, at that kind of terrain for the first time?
Yeah, first time means, you know, you're looking at distance versus time.
Okay.
So, whilst I have cycled at higher altitudes, but here you are looking at the time you take to traverse that 180 kilometers. And when you have suddenly 5,000 feet of altitude thrown in, it changes the dynamics.
What about the swimming? Wasn't that difficult too?
Swimming was not difficult, except that the water was cold. It was 19 degrees centigrade, whereas we used to swimming, you know, in much higher temperatures. But then you get used to it in about 15 minutes. So, the first 15 minutes in the water was cold. Thereafter, it was easy.
Just for our viewers, I want to remind them that General Dogra is the first general to complete the Ironman challenge and also the first serving Indian Army officer to do this. So that in itself was a huge achievement for you. I'm not going to tell our viewers how old you are, but rough estimate, I guess, late 50s. How exactly does somebody at your age decide to take on a challenge of this nature? Was it something you've trained for your whole life, or is this a more recent phenomenon?
I've been working out, but the reason I took on this Ironman challenge was more to do with a personal calling. I needed to, you know, prove to myself that I am still up to doing things if I put my mind to it. So, all through my service, I have been doing, I've been topping my course. And then somewhere down the line, as a Major General, I got overlooked by the Army. And it took a toll on my self-esteem. So it was more for a personal calling that I said, let me go back, get down to doing something which is difficult.
Right.
And that's what got me going for it.
Did you get access to sporting facilities at school? That is a complaint many Indian parents have about schools in India, that they don't put the kind of emphasis on physical education as they do on academics.
Yeah, but I went to school many years ago. And that time schools used to have a lot of emphasis on sports, especially I was in a boarding school. and we had lots of emphasis on sports. And then the Indian, the National Defence Academy and the Indian Military Academy and the entire army career. So we have had adequate exposure to sports. But yes, I agree with you, these days schools are not emphasizing on sports and it's more academic.
The NDA, the IMA, you're a Sword of Honor yourself from the Indian Military Academy. You say that also inculcated this, let's say, physical discipline. Has that been a hallmark, let's say, of your fitness regimen?
So I think the military plays a great role.
Okay.
Because we are expected to be fit. We are a profession where fitness is supposed to be the datum. And the many years spent in the army put you through, a regimen where you are intrinsically disciplined. You wake up at a certain time. You tend to do things right. So all that helped a lot.
Okay. And what about nutrition? Give us an idea of what kind of diet and nutrition you've had to follow.
To the diet, there are two parts. One is when you're training, and one is diet on race day. And they're totally different. But the main challenge is nutrition on race day.
Okay.
So if you're looking at a 17-hour event where you are in the water for 3.8 kilometers, you can't eat anything.
Sure.
Because if you're going to cycle 180 kilometers and then do a full marathon, obviously you can't have food in your stomach.
Right.
So the nourishment has to be in terms of gels. You have to have hydration tablets so that the salts that you lose are replenished. Adequate amount of water intake, and if that goes wrong and the electrolytes in your body do not retain the kind of levels that they're meant to, you will start cramping.
What exactly is an everyday in General Dogra's life? Where does fitness figure? What hours of the day does it figure? Because I mean, you're still serving in the army. That means you have work to go to and come back from.
So that was a challenge because like you said, I'm working, so I had an office to go to and spend time in.
Right.
So I would work out typically maybe 40 odd minutes before I went to work in the morning at home, which was more to do with core strengthening and toning up your body. And when I would get back from office, I would typically go for a run in the evening. Because of the kind of weather we have, in summer you can't run by day. The temperatures soar after a certain time. So I used to run at night, maybe 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night.
Wow,
I would go cycling on days. I've started cycling at about 1 at night.
Really?
Till about 6 in the morning on the expressway. Okay. Because you can't cycle by day because of the pollution. You can't cycle by day due to the traffic. So it's better at night. So I use the weekends to do my long distance cycling and running, and I used the normal days for workouts in the morning and the weekdays for a little bit of swimming.
What about support from family? Are there other people within your immediate family who are also into training the way that you are?
My wife just did the Tough Man marathon in Shimla last week, and she's done all the half marathons that have been held in Delhi, from the Airtel to the BSF to whichever else, and so are my sons.
Okay.
So from that point of view, the family support was there. There was never a question as to where you're going and why you're doing this and why are you, going at such unearthly hours.
Right.
So that helps. It does help. Yeah.
And talking about Ironman, when you got there, how many people are participating in an average event, and do you see yourself doing this again?
So whilst I was training, I was cursing myself as to why I've got into this, and I thought I'll never do one again.
Okay.
But now, having done the first one, I'm getting this strange feeling of going in for the second one.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I went there, of course, it was like going to school on the first day. When suddenly you find yourself in a new place, 3,000 people.
Butterflies in your stomach.
Butterflies in your stomach, and they are all, some of them are world-class athletes because there's a lot of prize money involved for them. So it's a feeling of, being in a strange place for the first time, and you're a novice. So they give you a green band to wear.
Okay.
That this is your first Ironman, and there are people who've done 15 before you and who've done 10 Ironman. So it's a totally different feeling.
So you might do this again.
Surely.
You're retiring next year. Is this something that you're going to continue on?
Age is a number, firstly. And I don't think I'm old. So whilst I may be retiring from the army, but I still feel I have lots and lots of time to get into the physical part. And surely I'm going to carry on with this kind of event, either an Ironman, and also have a plan to cycle around the world.
Okay.
Yeah, where I'm looking at doing about 22,000 kilometers over 5 continents, starting with April next year.
General Dogra, thank you so much for joining us on WION. Kudos to you. You've been an inspiration already, and all the best to you in the journey ahead. I'm sure there are many more Ironman challenges in the years to come.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.